This is Moab, the relatively small town in the southeastern Utah desert that hosts some of the most famous and sprawling networks of off-roading trails in the United States. It's home to trails such as Hell's Revenge, Metal Masher, and Steelbender. Most adventure riders have likely heard of Lockhart Basin, an oddly benign-sounding name amongst the rest. It's named for the geographical feature it traverses and is an optional part of the Utah BDR. Like Moab itself, it has attained an infamous status as a difficult path to ride. But what makes it challenging, and why exactly has it gained that reputation, and more importantly, how should you tackle it? The most objective challenge is Lockhart Basin's length and geography. At roughly 52 miles of dirt and leading more or less straight into or out of town, it's much longer than the average Moab trail, making it far more remote. It's also geographically isolated, generally handrailing the bottom of the basin with a sharp cliff to the east and the Colorado River to the west. The northern and southern terminuses are the only ways in or out. There are no bailout points along the way. Since it's situated so low and next to the cliff, temperatures are generally higher, without a cooling breeze for reprieve. Contrast this with classic trails in Moab, like Hell's Revenge or Slickrock, shown here in red and green respectively. Not only are they under 10 miles long, they're situated immediately outside of and above town. They also weave in and out of each other, providing alternate exits if need be. Just down the road, and also shown in red, another popular trail named Fins and Things passes through campgrounds and even crosses the main road at one point, offering yet even more bailout options. And, for better or worse, they're extremely popular. As annoying as dealing with side-by-sides might be, help is never far away. Of course, every rider has their definition of challenging, and that's especially true regarding the types of terrain being ridden over. Lockhart is a diverse mix of desert terrain, and this brief stretch generally summarizes what Lockhart has. These rolling ledges, or steps, are perhaps the most common feature in Lockhart. Most of them are gentle and evenly spaced, and oftentimes the steeper ones have workarounds. You'll dip into short stretches of generally shallow sand, although towards the southern end there are deeper patches. And you'll eventually come across sustained climbs, or descents, depending on your direction of travel. Some are rockier than others, and some have the occasional obstacles to dodge along the way, but generally speaking, the terrain is fairly mellow.
There you go. There you go. Fuck yeah, get
Of course, there are exceptions to the flowing terrain, and this is what generally earns Lockhart its reputation. Largely concentrated into a short, mile-and-a-half section near the northern end of the trail are what I call problems. If you've ever been bouldering, you know the types of problems I'm describing. It's a point in your travel where you can't pick your line on the fly. You have to pause and ponder for a bit, come up with a plan, and then have a go at it. There are 2 points that I found particularly challenging. The run-up to the first point is a bit sandier, and it's easier to get off trail, but it isn't awful. The first problem is 2 steeper ledges in succession, both with an improvised ramp of rocks to get up and both exposed, something that I struggle with. In the next clip, I start off from the base, down here. I approached too far from the left, which put me at a really awkward, oblique angle to make it up the ledge. So I tried to scooch myself into a better angle and gave it a tepid attempt.
Oh, fuck. Ah!
I failed. Although I neglected to record it, and after Odessa helped unpin me, we got the bike up and over the ledge.
Ow.
Shortly up the wash is the second problem. Here it's a longer and fairly steep incline with some ledges along the way. I initially tried going left around the ramp, but the angle was too tight to get the bike up this way, so I backed down to give the rocks a go. We actually thought that removing the rocks would make this much easier since it wasn't a vertical ledge, but before we had the chance to try, a group of riders arrived.
Alrighty.
Hi.
How's it going, guys?
We're having a good day. How are you?
Looks good. Where are you headed? Mexico.
Oh yeah? You gonna be there today or?
Oh yeah, you know, I figured we'd be there by sundown in time for just
Are you guys gonna camp on
taco
the
dinner?
trail or?
We might end up, yeah. I think we're mentally prepared for that.
Yeah.
I gave the center route one solo attempt and wound up smashing the left fork on the rock. And anxious to get out of the way, a group push made easy work of it.
Let go of the clutch and we can all kind of heave at one point.
I need to. I'm actually gonna back down.
Get some momentum.
Yeah. I need to redo this.
Ready?
Yeah.
Okay, if you come much further, you're gonna get off the edge of this rock on your rear.
I'd say right about there.
All right. I'll pause right there. I just got to get right quickly, otherwise I'm gonna smack the fork on the on that rock.
Yeah.
Although there's plenty else to contend with on the trail, those are the biggest problems you'll face on Lockhart. But of course, this assumes you're traveling north to south.
Right. 1, 2, 3. No! Yes!
Yeah.
Woo! All right, a little bit more.
Not much more.
This is why everyone recommends taking Lockhart Basin from south to north. You'll encounter fewer of these problems since you're going downhill more often. The boulders that were in the way going up wind up being a good guide coming down. But, always a contrarian, I think south to north is the wrong approach. So we circle back to Moab's other trails. Despite their intimidating names and reputations, a lot of the trails are extremely approachable. Start off with Slickrock. It even has a short practice loop that you can try before committing to the entire thing. The loop is shorter, but no less difficult than the main route itself, so you'll go into it with confidence. Behind me here is a Super Tenere doing the loop. And except for one short ledgy section that also has a workaround, the rest of it is big, rounded rocks. And despite its name, your traction here is virtually infinite. The very steep ups and downs can be intimidating at first, and unexpected tight turns can force you to pause and reorient yourself. But Slickrock's breadth affords you the opportunity to veer off and recover into different lines if need be. You'll get confidence with your bike pointed up or down, and you get to practice body position over 9 mellow miles. The terrain is just plain fun, and every time you crest or round a rock, the view is just amazing.
Wow! Oh, go follow the dotted line.
The other great appeal of Slickrock? It's a two-wheel only trail. While you'll catch glimpses of side-by-sides as you intersect Hell's Revenge, it's extremely peaceful to see only other motorcycles and bicycles along the way. Give the first part of Fins and Things a go after that. You'll encounter some sand, and you'll come across what normally would have been an intimidating decline on Slickrock. As you putter along, you'll come across ledges, the fins, and you'll see that most have a smooth workaround that you can always take if need be. But right up and down the ledges. Get a feel for it, and know that you won't be stuck. Most of these trails have clearly marked hard sections, so choose your own adventure, or choose one and then take the other one during lap 2. These are just 2 trails out of so many more. Whichever ones you choose to do, Moab is an amazing practice ground, especially if you haven't ridden terrain like this before, or if you're an overburdened adventure rider. You can ditch the 100 pounds of luggage you'll probably never use and spend a couple of days in Moab practicing and learning unencumbered. So ride those trails, learn the terrain one type at a time, and then give Lockhart a try, going south on your way out. Everything will be instantly familiar and, in turn, much more approachable. Since the challenging parts are at the northern end, you'll put them behind you almost immediately, leaving you with a much more relaxing ride. Okay. And in the worst case scenario, if you do find that you need to turn around, backtracking is both short and easy. If you're considering riding Lockhart Basin, give this a try. Go enjoy Moab first, and then enjoy a confident and rehearsed trip out of town.